cast your mind back to
Mm,
pre-coaching with me, right? You'd
yeah.
signed up to the marathon.
hmm
What what were your feelings about the marathon at that point before you started working with me?
I think it was just a bit overwhelmed. Like, what do I have to do? Where do I go? Like, I know I need to start something, but didn't really know where. And there's so much stuff like online plans and all
Mm,
sorts of stuff, but you don't know what would be good for you.
okay.
Um, so yeah, I think there was just a lot of like confusion and information and just not really knowing what to do next.
Okay. So in terms of where to even start, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. And you signed up to the marathon. You did it for British Red Cross or with
So
the
I
British
ended up doing it for SAFA, the Armed Forces.
Stafford.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Ended up doing
So
it for them. Yeah.
so you did it for a charity. So you were fundraising and stuff as well, right? And what what drove you to sign up to get help to be coached?
I think it was that just needing also for motivation for myself because I know that I've done things before where I've followed a plan and I've like missed a day and it's not like I just not been held accountable for it. So I think I needed someone to knowing that I wanted to do and have a goal in my mind and know that I needed someone to just help me with accountability as well and to stick to it.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, having those check-ins as well was like hugely grateful for getting advice, but then also just like getting back to the core of like the reason why and just my motivation for it as well.
Yeah. And what was that? What was your core reason for wanting to run the marathon?
Personal challenge. I just kind of signed up thinking, this would be good. I wanted something new and a new challenge to do.
Mhm.
Um, but I didn't think I would get in. I didn't think I would get in on the ballot because the chances are obviously so slim.
Yes.
And then I did, and I was just like, no, I can't because there's a reason why I got a place type thing, and it was just yeah, all of it. Let's do it.
Mm. Okay. And you signed up for coaching. You started getting help from me.
hmm
What was your experience in those first couple of days or first couple of weeks? What was your actual experience of what co being coached was like?
So I had done some online coaching before for like purely for like health and weight loss and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just lied to them basically. They would say like, "Oh, you make sure you do your 10,000 steps today," and I'd be like, "Yep, I've done my 10,000 steps." Like, and I hadn't. I'd
Yeah.
done like 3,000.
Okay.
Um, and I think this was the point of this is the time where it actually worked, and I don't know whether it was you or what it was mentally. I was just ready,
Mm.
but and I think the goal being something that I enjoyed as well. That was great. But I think, yeah, I got stuck into it. I'd say pretty much straight away of having the plan, having the app, knowing what I had to do. And I think breaking it down into chunks as well at the start of being like, right, we're going to focus on your 5K, um, and then kind of build from there. I
Yeah.
think having that felt really manageable to
Mhm.
start off with,
Yeah.
considering everything felt so big and huge and not knowing how to get there.
Yeah.
That helped,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay. Yeah, because like when we started, yes, you could have looked ahead at, my God, in however many weeks I've got to run a
Yeah,
20-mile run or something, right?
yeah,
How
yeah.
how overwhelming would that have been if we'd started talking about that at day one, right? As opposed
Yeah,
to, okay, let's just get over the first milestone of getting you confident and consistent running at much shorter
yeah,
pace, right?
yeah, exactly. And I think every time when I was like, oh no, like I've got, the next run feels manageable, but thinking about what I had to do, you always like just brought me back to, just think about the next, like, what's the next thing, what you're doing tomorrow, what's like the smaller steps.
Mm,
So that was, yeah, massively helpful.
okay. So what was, you're sat there now with your medal.
Yeah.
Aside from finishing maybe that is like what is, without putting words in your mouth, what is your standout best result from the coaching, from getting help?
I honestly think it's also just that mental change of previously I've tried stuff before and it's never
Mm.
nothing has ever really stuck.
Right.
Whereas I feel like now I've really got into a routine with what
Mm.
we've been doing over the last few months. And this is the one thing that I feel like I've really stuck with this time and I've achieved something. So I think that's huge
Okay.
for me. Yeah.
So a massive shift in terms of how you operate.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's massive. Maybe we should just
Yeah.
stop the call there. Like,
No, I
that,
think that just that regular I've I've regularly kind of exercised as well, where previously I'd gone really hard on something and then it's not been sustainable, where
mm,
this is just, the little things,
yeah.
getting out for, making sure then that you do the runs and then, drink, I remember the habit tracker, making sure I've got the water in the morning
Mm,
and that stuck is that like the little things
yeah.
I think that helped to,
Yeah.
yeah, change just day to day.
Okay. So what have three other benefits been from the coaching that you've had, other than this monumental shift in how you think? Like, what are the big or small benefits have you had?
Yeah. I think joining those Thursday sessions were amazing because I was new to York as well.
Yeah.
So this is probably the thing that when I moved in September, I then started coaching in November and joining the sessions kind of earlier this year. That has been great for just meeting some new people as well, and the group's
Yeah.
been so friendly.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I've really loved that side of it. Um, you sent me some good run routes as well. So I'd been exploring the city in different places that I probably wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I've also found my love for York doing this process as well, which has been
Yes.
great.
Cool.
Um, yeah. Um, and then sorry, go back. What was the question again? What
The
was
question
I'm trying
was
the benefits?
yeah, what three other benefits, other than the monumental shift in how you think, have you enjoyed as a result of the coaching? I think you gave three,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah, massively.
penultimate question before we just talk about the day itself, but
Mm.
what would you recommend coaching with myself? And if so, what would you say?
Yeah. No, I would. I would definitely recommend it. I would say just make sure that you're learning from also past experience of things that haven't worked, that have worked this time.
Mm,
It is just making sure that you're in the right mindset for it.
yeah.
And then also just being completely honest with you. I think
Yeah.
there were times when I was honest about like, I've had these blisters are painful, like I'm, not feeling it this week. There was
Yeah.
a week where I was just like mentally just, not, and you then gave me some advice with that. So I would just say, yeah, just yeah, it's just been, yeah, really good experience
Okay. Cool. And
in all ways.
in all ways, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that.
Yeah.
So, final question, in terms of your experience of coaching with me, is there anything
hmm
else that you'd like to add that you think is important people know if they're considering coaching?
I think I would definitely say doing the in-person as well as the online stuff. The online stuff was great, but I
Mm,
think that in-person connection when we met at those sessions, which are brilliant, and just getting that help, I would say if you're thinking about, if you do the online stuff and you're thinking about whether to do some of the sessions as well, I would say do those
Okay.
too. It's
Okay.
you know it's a bit more expensive, but yeah, it's I think it's worth it.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. Thank you. That's the end of my questions in terms of specifically capturing your experience of the coaching. But I'm selfishly gonna ask you how how the run went itself because
Yeah,
I was there on the day and there were probably about 8 to 10 of you in my tracker that was going, on and
yeah,
off all day because, I don't know what your hubby's experience was like in terms of the tracker, but it was it was hit.
yeah,
It was quite hard to keep
yeah,
track of everyone,
yeah. It
and
was.
but what was how did it go? What was the experience like?
Yeah, it was incredible. It was just another level. I kind of prepared myself for what I thought the crowds would be like, but I don't think you can actually, until you experience it, it's so different.
Yeah,
Um, I think I didn't get the time that I wanted, but I'm not,
we had A, B, and C goals though, right?
exactly, that helped massively because I was like, I've not got my A goal, but that's fine. Um, I then, so I
I
ran,
like Zoe, just to sorry to
yeah,
interrupt, but like
no.
it was bloody hot,
Yeah, it was
right?
it was very hot.
For you to have achieved your A goal, I would prefer it to have been probably 10, almost 15
Yeah,
degrees cooler than it was,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
The heat takes so much out
definitely.
of you.
Yeah, it was a lot. Um, and I think seeing like the crowd was brilliant, but then you would see what would give me a bit of a reality check, I suppose, is you would literally see people like passing out and like,
Mm.
the St. John's ambulance
Yeah,
supporting people that had like their legs are spasmed, and I was a little bit like, oh God, like what I'm doing is actually putting my body under a lot of stress.
yeah, yeah,
And I think it does bring you back to reality. And I think there are a few times where I saw that and actually I was kind of thinking maybe like I just want to enjoy it.
yeah,
Maybe like
yeah,
let's
yeah.
not. No, if I'm feeling it, then I'll walk.
Mm,
Or if I'm, yeah, just slow. So that was definitely a reminder and something that I didn't, I think, prepare myself for seeing.
mm.
Um, but yeah, it was great. I met a girl that lives in York in our wave. So she was joining the wave and that was good.
Fab.
And then we ended up meeting someone else at like mile 3 and we did it together. And there was a point and it was just great to go round together, just sharing the highs and the lows with each
Yeah,
other. And
yeah,
just there was one point where they slowed to a walk and I thought I feel like I just need to lock in. And I saw there was a sub 6:30 pacer that was in the a wave near, I think the wave after us kind of go past us. And I was like, this was the point where I thought I know I'm not going to get the time. And I know that sub 6:30 is now, overtaken. Um, and I thought I'm going to try and lock in. And I said to them, I was like, I might try and go ahead. Like I'll probably see you at some point because I
mm,
felt like I could keep going. And I think that was at like I think it was 19, 20. Um, and then I did a bit probably I was on my own for 10 minutes and I just thought this is like, you start to get in your head. I think I was in a tunnel at that point where, all the crowds go. And I was just like, no, this is not for me. It wasn't, and at that time, it wasn't what it was about. Like
yeah,
we'd shared such a really cool experience. I was like, I'm gonna just they then ended up catching me up anyway because
yeah,
I tired
yeah,
myself out from going
yeah,
on a
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Um, and then we finished it together across the line. So, but yeah, it was just mile that bit round Canary Wharf, 15 to 19 was
Hard,
tough.
hard.
Um, yeah, but yeah, I th it was just as a day as a whole, it was just incredible.
And what was the lowest point for you? What was the hardest point? Maybe
I
then two
think it
different times.
was, yeah, um, hard. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think hard was probably. The lowest point. I'm trying to take a mixed between Canary Wharf was hard.
Yeah.
I think l maybe from a low point because there's not as much going on.
Mm,
But then the toughness, like physically, mile 24 onwards, even though the crowds are like they're amazing at that point, I
yeah.
just when I was running previously, I would walk to, give my body a bit of a break and
Yeah.
then run again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at that point, just walking was just everything was painful.
Yeah.
Um, so that felt hard. And at that point, the other two that I was with, we didn't say none of us kind of said a word to each other. We just like it was silence. We just plugged in, we had our headphones in and we were
Just
just like, let's
tunnel
just
vision. Just get there.
yeah,
Yeah.
just keep going.
Yeah.
Um, but
But
yeah, I think
it's meant to be
um
hard, Zoe, right?
mm,
That's why only
huge.
1% of the country or the world, whatever the population is,
Yeah.
ever run a marathon because it's insanely tough, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I think I was getting like all of the gels and the sweets, and people were handing stuff out. And at the start, I was like, "This is great," but then
Mm.
after like, I think mile 20, I'm just sick
Yeah.
of this stuff now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I just feel there was one point where I was like, I just feel sick of just
Yeah.
all of the stuff.
Yeah.
Um, like I
So
needed
what
something.
did you actually fuel with? Did you stick to your fueling strategy?
Yeah, so I stuck to gels. There was a time where I'd kind of lost track. I think probably between m- mile 16 onwards where I'd kind of like lost track of like when did I take a gel, what
Oh
time,
no,
what
yeah, yeah,
I'd got a bit confused.
yeah.
Um, but I wouldn't say I properly hit, didn't feel like I hit the wall
Good.
until that mile 24 point
That's good going.
where it was just like
Yeah.
everything was, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I had some about it was about mile 18, I think. I felt like I needed Andy had some like salty snacks with him because I was like I don't
Yeah.
with losing salt and the drinking and stuff like
Mm,
that and the
mm.
gels. So when I saw them at that point, I had just like a handful of just some like salted nuts,
Yeah. I bet they
basically
taste
just
great,
just
right?
to feel like I needed. Yeah, yeah. Um, but there's a point where I think it was seeing that sign, which is like 385 yards to go.
Yeah.
That felt like the longest, 385 yards. And then I remember seeing the crowds and yeah, I got a bit emotional at that point. And then the camera, when I see the photos yesterday, they managed to get like the ugliest crying photo face of
Oh.
me. I'm like, oh, why did I? But yeah, there were some points that were just like really dead emotional, and
Mm,
others which were like, oh my God, he's amazing. It was just
yeah.
so up and down all
Yeah.
day, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was incredible.
Fabulous. And what would you say was the highlight for you? A highlight, not the highlight. I'm sure there were many, but is there a standout one?
Yeah, I think getting that medal around your neck at the end is just is just crazy. But I think doing that with the people that I met along the way
Yeah.
was just brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think just it's the people there, isn't it? Like seeing the signs and just yeah, I think the achievement is great, but then you see everyone else's stories and stuff, and it's just yeah, it's another level.
So many different stories. And you were
Mm,
part of a world record because it was the most
yeah,
finishes of a marathon ever, like
yeah,
50 plus thousand people.
yeah, yeah. No, it was good. I didn't notice that until after someone else mentioned it to me, and I was like, oh, um, but yeah, no, it was good. Great day.
Fabulous. Um, Now the priority is recovery, which is why in the rest of this week, your plan is
Yeah,
do a lot of walking, do a lot of moving,
yeah,
but not necessarily impact, right?
Yeah.
Because the body just needs to recover, and um, it can take 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks to
Hmm.
feel 100% normal again, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I find that I feel okay until I've like maybe sat. So if I've not moved for like longer than half an hour, then that
Yeah,
I can then when I start to move again,
yeah, I
that
bet.
hurts. Yeah. So just trying to keep kind of different movements
Okay,
and stuff all the time.
okay, cool. And like you said there, I didn't realize that you'd done coaching with um, other people before for health and fitness and weight loss and stuff reasons.
Mm,
Um, I'm proud to hear that, you were honest with me and that
yeah.
you trusted me, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I think that's probably some of it, of what it was. It was other times I'd just not been in the right space or like I had a different, had a different goal.
Mm.
But yeah, I think I've really found my groove this time.
Fab, fab. And what would you say made the biggest difference? Like what is it the person? Is it the the systems? Is it the sustainability of it? Like what is the thing that made the difference?
I think I think the in-person stuff helped massively. Um, but yeah, I think a lot of it is also you as well. I think I've not had, I don't know if it makes a difference. The other coach I had was a female coach.
Right?
Um, I don't know if that I'm just trying, I don't know if it makes a difference or not. But yeah, I think just you're more, I think to the point. I think maybe others had tried to be too
Too soft?
either too kind or too far the other way. Yeah, I
Right.
think you had like just the right amount of look after yourself, but also like you've got a goal, and if you want to achieve it, this is what you have to do
Okay.
to get there. So I think, yeah, it's a
So
good
I would summarize that
balance.
as tact, having
Yeah,
tactfulness
yeah,
and
yeah.
telling you
No,
telling you
that's
what you
right.
need to
Yeah,
telling you what you need to hear when you need to hear it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's been a absolute pleasure. And I know that you said that you wanted to take a pause after this, after achieving this goal and stuff. Like what, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to take a pause and whatever, but what are your thoughts on continuing in some way, shape, or form and continuing with something that has clearly worked for you in terms of, you're in a new city, you're meeting new people,
Yeah,
you're getting life-changing results. Like for me, it would be
yeah,
crazy to just stop that. But like, yeah, it
yeah.
has to it has to work for you in terms of what do you need to continue?
I think for now, yeah, I'm gonna pause. I think it has worked, but I think it's also been a lot, and it's been, there's it's been a commitment,
Yeah,
which is it's obviously worked,
yeah.
but yeah, I think I just need that bit of
The
a mental
commitment.
reset to then
Okay.
think what
So is it
what
is
are
it
the
the
things that I want to do.
is it the commitment in terms of, is it a financial commitment you're talking about, or is it a emotional and energetic commitment? Like what you're talking about specifically?
I think both. I
Yeah.
think both. I think emotion, like, yeah, I think the app has been great for now. I don't know if I could do that and track stuff like consistently forever without being if there's the goal that I had in mind.
Mm.
Um And then, yeah, financially, I just will recoup a little bit and
Okay.
just see where we get to. But yeah, I think I want to have a bit of a reset about what are my goals with running specifically. I've
Mm,
loved the classes.
mm,
I think they're great,
mm.
and the people I've met along the way. But yeah, I just think I need to have a bit of a reset and think what's the next steps for me from here.
Okay. As long as it's not, as long as you giving yourself time to think isn't a procrastination technique to
No.
not then do anything, right? I'm not
Yeah.
saying you have to continue working with me. What I'm saying is just be
Yeah.
mindful that, you know, yeah, for sure it's an investment in of time, money, effort, and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, yeah, just
Mm,
you've got to know what you want to achieve, I guess. It's like
yeah.
there's got to be
Yeah.
there's got to be a goal all the time because otherwise, for me as well, if there's no goal, then you're just going to coast
Mm,
and you're just going to
yeah.
keep,
Yeah.
you know,
And I think that's where I've been before. I haven't had a set goal, or I have had a goal, but I don't know if I've really bought into the goal that I've
yeah,
set
yeah.
myself.
And in, like this goal has been a pretty mega goal.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, how do you follow that? Or rather, it doesn't need to be of the same magnitude, but it
Mm,
does have to be of the same intensity, I guess, in terms of like you've got to
mm,
get behind it and really want it. Like you really wanted to
yeah.
finish this marathon, and that made
Yeah.
the coaching and stuff relatively simple and easy because it's like, okay, I know what you need to do. Let's just follow it, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like right now, it what's most important to you? Is it a running goal? Is it a fitness goal? Is it a health related goal? Like if I was to ask you now and I'd have gone to your head, what would you say? What's the most important thing right now?
Yeah. I think now I've achieved this like milestone running, think it would be a health goal and
Okay.
fitness goal just to keep maintain where I don't want to lose it. I definitely
Yeah.
don't like so much work has gone into it at this
Mm.
point. If I was to just stop and do nothing, I can see myself down the line just really kicking myself.
Okay.
Um,
And how
so
far down
yeah,
the
I
line
would
would you
maintain.
how far down the line do you think you would get before you're like, shit, I wish I'd done something? 3 weeks, six
Yeah.
6 months, a year? How long are you giving yourself?
6 months came into my head, but I think, yeah, I wouldn't want to let it, do you
Okay.
know what I mean? I've been before where I've got to something and then
Mm.
been like,
Mm.
oh, I'll have a break now.
Yeah, yeah.
And I definitely don't. And then the break has turned into like a year's
Months, yeah.
sabbatical.
So
It's not
my
just been,
my advice there is
mm,
if you if you do nothing for 2 to 3 weeks, your health and fitness won't just suddenly disappear. It will
no.
very slowly start to tail off, and then it'll start
Hmm.
gaining momentum, and then right, it'll then start falling off
Yeah.
rap fairly rapidly over time, right? But
Hmm.
before that point, you've still got, you know, I'd say 3, 4 weeks to recover from this trauma, basically, on the body, because you're
Yeah.
probably a few centimeters shorter, if I'm honest, from the running, from all that
Yeah.
impact and stuff. Your muscles are like, crikey, Zoe, please don't do that to me again for a little while. Um, and
Yeah.
and other expletives, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you have to give yourself some time to recover, but yeah, my advice is don't leave it too long if it is a health and fitness related goal that you want to
Hmm.
maintain. Because you're what?
Yeah.
Are you in your late 20s or early 30s?
Yeah. Late 20s. Yeah.
Right? You're in your late 20s. And I'm 45 now. right?
Mm.
And I I hear from all the people that I speak to in my age group, like 40, 50, their number one thing is they can't get away with things anymore. And
Yeah.
if I could speak to my late 20-year-old self, my
Oh, sorry,
advice,
dogs.
sorry, my one advice would be do something about it whilst you can. Like front load
Yeah.
your life, right? If
Yeah.
if I started some kind of health and fitness routine earlier, because I didn't start until late 20, my
Mm.
first marathon wasn't until 30. Um, if I'd
Oh,
started
okay.
if I hadn't started soon, if I'd started sooner, then even I'd be in an even better place right now.
Yeah.
So that would be my 45-year-old advice to a late 20,
Yeah. Thank you.
right? Right. So
Yeah.
yeah, the ball's in your court as far as I'm concerned, Zoe. Um, but yeah, let's chat again in say 2, 3 weeks time, and I'm just gonna ask you what you where you're at, what you'd like to do next.
Yeah.
If
No,
that's
that
cool.
sounds good.
Is that all
That's
right?
perfect. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And I think, do I owe you one more months of, I'm not sure what,
No, like
I,
if you want to pause, then
yeah.
I just hit the button because
Okay.
no payments are due until early May, I don't think. So if I
Yeah.
just pause those, but as far as I'm concerned, you're free to come until that next payment. So
Yeah. Okay.
if you're up for coming to a session Thursday, just for the movement, just to see other people and maybe even share, show off your bling kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think that'd be great.
exactly.
I think that'd be
Yeah.
great. So come along.
Yeah. Great. I actually think I've got plans with a friend on Thursday that I haven't seen for ages,
Mm,
which is for, and yeah, I would love to do that. But yeah, I will definitely let you know. I will have a think about yeah, what my next steps are and definitely come back to you in a couple of weeks.
sounds good. Sounds good. All right.
Sounds
Um,
great.
half
Thank you
past.
so much though for all of your help and everything. It's been absolutely amazing. Really got me over the line and got me this medal. So thank you. Thank
I
you.
I again was merely there to guide you, and you had to put in all the work,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Yeah, that medal is a reminder that you are capable of whatever put your mind to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I doff my
definitely.
hat to anyone that is out on their feet for that long in those conditions as well, right?
Yeah, it was warm.
The determination that you needed to keep going, right?
Mm.
So many people gave up,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.